Hi guys, I come back and today's is quiz from 26 to 30. Okay, let's get started. One. What were your first days at okay, sorry. Um, what were your first days at work like? There were lots of teachers started at the same time as me. 10, I think. So we all have a big induction day. The most um, sunny, sunny, senior, senior teachers raise workshop with us to familiarize us with the different system they have, and then we went for a team dinner in the evening. 2. What was your first day at work like? There were lots of teachers starting at the same time as me. 10, I think. So we all have the big induction day. The more seminar teachers trains workshops with us to familiarize us with the different system they have, and then we went for a team dinner in the evening. 3. What were your first days at work like? There were lots of teachers starting at the same time as me. 10, I think. So we all have the the big induction day. The more senior 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 teachers ran workshops with us to familiarize us with the different system they have, and then we went for a team dinner in the evening. 4. There were lots of teachers starting at the same time as me. 10, I think. So we all have the big induction day. The more senior teachers ran workshops with us to familiarize us with the different system they have, and then we went for a team dinner evening. In the evening. That's what your first days at work like. There were lots of teachers started at the same time as me. 10, I think. So we all have a big induction day. The more senior teachers ran workshops with us to familiarize us with the different systems they have, and then we went for a team dinner in the evening. Sentence 25. What responsibilities do you have at work? All of the teachers' main responsibilities is to plan good lessons and then teach them to the best of our abilities. On top of that, we have several admin tasks to carry out, like more homework, fill out attendance sheets, and try reports. 2. What responsibility do you have at work? On the teacher's main responsibility is to plan good lessons and then teach them to the best of our ability. On top of that, we have several admin tasks to carry out, like more homework, fill out attendance sheets, and try reports. 3. What responsibilities do you have at work? All of the teachers' main responsibilities is to plan good lessons and then teach them to the best of our ability. On top of that, we have several tasks to carry out like more homework, fill out attendances, and try response. 4. What responsibility do you have at work? All of the teacher's main responsibilities is to plan good lessons and then teach them to the best of our abilities. On top of that, we have several just to carry out like more homework, fill out attendance sheets, and try reports. 5. What responsibility do you have at work? All of the teacher's main responsibility is to plan good lessons and then teach them to the best of our ability. On top of that, we have several such as carry out live work homework, our attendance sheet, and write reports. 28. Sentence 28. Would you like to change your job in the future? Yes, as I before, I like working by myself, so I would like to be my own boss. I'm currently developing my own website, so it's successful. I will leave teaching and working it full time. This also gives me more time to work on all the projects. 2. Would you like to change your job in the future? Yeah, as I before, I like working by myself, so I would like to be my own boss. I'm currently developing my own website, so if it's successful, I will leave teaching and work on it full time. This will also give me more time to work on all the projects. 3. Would you like to change the job in the future? Yeah, as I said before, I like working by myself, so I would like to be my own boss. I'm currently developing my own website, so if it is successful, I will leave teaching and work on it full time. This also gives me more time to work on all the projects. 4. Would you like to change your job in the future? Yeah, yes, I said before, I like working by myself, so I would like to be foreign first. I'm currently developing by our website, so if it's successful, I will leave teaching and work on it full time. This will also give me more time to current all the projects. 5. Would you like to change your job in the future? Yes, decided before I like working by myself, so I would like to be my own boss. I'm currently developing my own website, so if it's successful, I will be teaching and work hard. It's full time. This will also give me more time to work on all the projects. Center 29. What is your typical day like in work? I normally have 2 or 3 classes in the evening, and I start days by doing all the planning at home. This normally takes between an hour or two depending on the lessons. I then take the rest of the day to spend my family before going to work around 3 to bring up my materials, and then I did on eBay on learning. What is your typical day like in work? Okay. I normally have 2 or 3 classes in the evening, and I start the days by doing on the playing at home. This normally takes between an hour or two depending on the lessons. I then take the rest of the day to spend my family before going to work around 3 to bring out my materials, and then I teach all the burning. 3. What is your typical day like in work? I normally have 2 or 3 lessons in the evening, and I start the day by doing on the planning at home. This normally takes between an hour or two depending on the lessons. I then take the rest of the day to spend my family before going to work around 3 to bring out my materials, and then I teach all evening. 4. Is your typical day like in work? I normally have 2 or 3 classes in the evening, and I start the days by doing on the planning at home. This normally takes between an hour or two depending on the lessons. I then take the rest of the day to spend my family before going to work around 3 to print out my materials, and then I teach all evening. 5. This is your typical day line work. I normally have 2 or 3 classes in the evening, and I start the days by doing on the plane at home. This normally takes between an hour or two depending the lessons. I then take the rest of the day to spend my family before going to work around 3 to print off my materials, and then I teach all evening. 31. Okay. 1. What do you study? Try. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. 30. What would you change about your job? As with smart English teachers, we have to check that is on the curriculum, and this can mean you are teaching some things that are quite boring or not very useful for your students. So I would like to have more freedom to teach outside the syllabus. 2. What would you change about your job? As with small English teachers, we have to check what is on the curriculum, and this can mean you are teaching some things that are quite boring or not very useful for your students. So I would like to have more freedom to teach outside the syllabus. 3. What would you change about your job? As with small English teachers, we have to check what is on the curriculum, and this can mean then you are teaching some things that are quite boring or not very useful for your students. So I would like to have more freedom to teach outside the syllabus. 4. What would you change about your job? As with smart English teachers, we have to teach what is on the curriculum, and this can mean you are teaching some things that are quite boring or not very useful for your students. So I would like to have more freedom to teach outside the syllabus. 5. What would you change about your job? As most English teachers, we have to teach what is on the curriculum, and this can mean you are teaching some things that are quite boring or not very useful for your students. So I would like to have more freedom which is outside the syllabus. 31. What do you study? I study tourist school is a really well taught of the trees, and I'm hoping to pursue it as a career in the future. Um, it is a popular subject at your universities. Very popular and is one of the most sought after courses. I think there are about thousands of students study. I think that students' parents want them to study tourists so they can get a good job after they graduate. There are so many foreigners coming to Vietnam these, these days too. What do you study? I study tourism because it's a really broad of degree and I am hoping to pursue it as a career in the future. Is it a popular subject at your university? It's very popular in first one of the most sought after courses. I think there's about thousands of students studying it. I think those students' parents want them to study tourism so they can get a good job after they graduate. There's so many foreigners coming to Vietnam these days for. What do you study? I study tourism because is a is a really well thought of degree. I'm hoping to pursue this as a career in the future. Is it a popular subject at your university? It's very popular in fact it's one of the most of the courses. I think there's about thousands of students studying. I think lots of student parents want them to study tourism so they can get a good job after they graduate. There are so many foreigners coming to Vietnam these days. For what do you study? I study tourism. It's a really well taught to degree and I'm hoping to pursue it. It's a career in the future. It is the popular subject at your university. It's very popular. In fact, it's one of the most sought after courses. I think there are about thousands of students studying it. I think the student parents want them to study tourism so they can get a good job after they graduate. There are so many foreigners coming to Vietnam these days. Fine. What do you study? I study tourism because it's a really well taught degree and I'm holding pursue it as a career in the future. Is it a popular subject at your universities? Very popular and first one of the most sought after courses. I think there's about there are about thousands of students studying it. I think the student grants want them to study tourists so they can get a good job after they graduate. There are so many foreigners coming to Vietnam these days. Do you enjoy studying? Do you enjoy studying? Do you enjoy studying? Studying. It's such a whole subject that will always be part you like and part you don't like. I find human drive fascinating because it can really make a difference to people's lives. On the other hand, models like landlords and equities are really boring. True. Do you enjoy studying? It's just a human story. No, it's such a human subject that will always be part you like and part you don't like. I find human drive fascinating because it can really make a difference to people's lives. On, on the other hand, more lists like landlord and equity are very boring. 3. Do you enjoy studying? It's such a huge subject that will always be parts you like and parts you don't like. I find human trial facilities because it can really make a difference to people's lives. On the other hand, more or less like landlords and equities are very boring. 4. Do you enjoy studying it? It's such as a huge such as a deal that there will always be parts you like and parts you don't like. I find human drive fascinating because it can really make a difference to people's lives. On the other hand, more or less like landlord and equities are very boring. 5. Do you enjoy studying it? So it's such as a human. It is such a huge subject that that there will always be parts you like and parts you don't like. I find human rights fascinating because it can really make a difference to people's lives. On the other hand, monoliths like landlord and equities are really boring. Okay, that's all. See you next time.